Secure has a solution for the email and messaging hacks that we are seeing on almost a daily basis here. I'm sure that these happen every day. We may not hear about all of them. And with me is the CEO, Alon Gahi of Secure, Globex Data, which Secure is one of their products. And Alon, let's talk about the Robinhood hack. So first of all, Robinhood is been a really interesting company this year. They were involved in the meme stocks, got a lot of attention, especially among younger stock investors. Now they're the victim of a hack. So what can you tell me about that you know?
Yes, Jane. So hi and hello to any of our viewers who are watching us right now. So Robinhood is an interesting company and controversial sometimes, and it could have a polarization. You have some people that are for it and some are against it. They're very cult-like. So I don't know who hacked them, but I would imagine it's somebody that is not either not a fan of Robinhood or somebody that knows that there's millions of people on that database, and the typical client base of Robinhood are generally a younger demographic. Obviously, they all use free email services like Gmail, for example, Hotmail, Yahoo, and so forth. The database, when it was stolen and they wanted to extract, I guess, the ransomware, they essentially got access to 7 million people. Now, in the article on The Verge, which is the one we're discussing about, in the article, Robinhood said, no, but they didn't get any social security back. I mean, we hear that all the time. They're not going to say, yes, they took the entire information. But these information slowly leak out. When you have a database and you're able to get one, you're pretty much able to get another one and another. The bottom line, even if the hackers didn't get the social security numbers, they have the entire name, email, phone number, address, God knows what else. I wouldn't be surprised if they get their account info as well. A few months back, there was another hack with Robinhood where people started to complain that they're missing money. So there were millions of dollars missing from their account, and that was due to the same problem, which is the email. And then from the email, they go to the password and so forth. Some people said, I use the same password for everything. Well, yes, you need a password manager, but the flaw is it starts with the email, right? So that's one of many financial institutions that are having issues with their database. And then of course, the customer, it's kind of not their responsibility, but it is their responsibility to make sure their information is at least safe, or they use a proper password and an email that's not free and hacked and data mined every day.
Now, you said they got their emails, and that's really the key, I think, to a lot of this is they get an email, they send them an email, oh, click here, there's trouble with your Robinhood account, something like that. That entices a person to click, and then the hacker gets access to your computer, right? That's what they're trying to do here.
It's called phishing. So not only that, but now they also have the email of the user, so they can do a million things with that email. I mean, it's just unreal. And they can also check what other system has that email that matches. So maybe your DoorDash delivery or your gym membership or another bank account, as a matter of fact. So what they'll do is they'll try to match. These are sophisticated machines. Once they have your name and your email, now they have your entire life, and they'll match up. Oh, this person has 3 bank accounts and 2 brokerage accounts. Let's see where we can go. And they resell that as well. So not only the hackers, but then they resell that in the dark web, and everybody has your entire life. So it's a huge issue. And that's what happens when you don't secure your database, when the customer uses a free service that's being data mined on an hourly basis. So that's the big issue.
Yeah. So let's go to what Secure offers, because this is an alternative. And I feel like these hacks are so common that people are starting to get a little tired of it and looking for alternatives. So tell me about Secure and what you offer.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. I'm hearing slowly the water is warming up. It hasn't boiled up, but we get feedback now. People are looking for alternatives. So what Secure does is we are a Swiss-hosted secure communications tool. Globex Data, traded under ticker SWISF in the US, is our company, and Secure is a product, SEKUR. We offer Secure, which is an email and messaging tool, Secure Messenger. End of Q1, we're going to offer Secure Voice, most likely, or beginning of Q2. We're going to do Secure Pro, which is a replacement to Zoom. Our specialty is we provide Swiss privacy, non-open source encryption. You'll have the diehard open source people and the people that will defend closed source, which is what we are. Open source now is hacked on a daily basis. Everybody knows the code and they can get into these open source platforms. So it's not really as great as it was before. We also do not host on any of the big tech platforms. So it's private. That's important because that means that we're more secure and definitely more private. We never data mine you. We don't even look at your data. We can't even look at it in most cases. And essentially, if you want to have like that Swiss safe for your data, that's who we are. So we have an email with a secure send feature. Secure send is a way for you to send an email to anybody outside of your organization without the email being all over the internet for the hackers to sniff packet and read everything, including your files, etc., that are being scanned while you're sending an email. I mean, finance is a great example. People exchange financial information, whether it's bank or brokers, etc. And we have Secure Messenger, which lets you send a message to somebody that doesn't even have the app. It explains all of that on secure.com. But essentially, we're the only, so far, the only company in the globe that offers such varied services with such minimal cost. And we never data mine you, and we're based in Switzerland. I mean, find me another company like that, and I'll gladly invest in it.
So I was going to ask you about the cost. So that's how you make your money, is there's a monthly fee versus the other companies that are free, but they data mine you and potentially expose you to hacks. So tell me about the fee, like how much can people pay for the security?
Sure. The other company, by the way, is free, but then for businesses, they charge and they still data mine them. So not only you're being data mined and they make thousands a month from your account, you pay them as well, which is ludicrous. So we charge $5 US per month for the messenger, $50 per year, $10 for the messenger and email combo, which comes with 100 gigabyte of multiple redundant storage in Switzerland, or 100 a year. We're going to launch secure mail for consumers, which will be between $5 to $7 a month, and then Secure Mail Pro, which is for businesses, where you can have your business domains, etc., for $10 a month. So that's coming by the end of the year. We're going to start rolling that out. In Q1, we're going to have our own email application with all the bells and whistles. You don't have to configure anything. You don't have to go to webmail to use the secure send feature like you have to today. It's going to be like the Gmail version, but private, Swiss, and secure. And it's going to be for businesses as well. And then down the road in Q2, Q3, well, actually more Q2, all of it, Secure Voice, which will have voice, email, messaging, the whole gamut for $20 a month, which is cheap when you consider how real voice encryption should be. And then you have Secure Pro, which is the Zoom feature, the voice, the email, and whatnot for about $50 per user per month. So these are very affordable products. We charge because we have to maintain our servers and make a profit. We are a publicly traded company. You know, we like to make some revenues as well. But we never data mine you. We don't sell your data. It's not part of our philosophy. Our DNA in Switzerland, it's like privacy is in our veins, you know, so it's that's what you get.
Well, and I don't think any people expect you to make money on this. So now you have a video service coming out too. So when is that happening? What's it called? How is that protective?
So Secure Pro will have the video conferencing similar to Zoom. It's not going to be a service where you have 100 people on it. We're going to limit to 10 to 20 users. The targets are privacy sensitive individual, most likely C-level executive, board member, public company executive, governments. And the difference is that with us, you won't get data mined. We're not going to sell your data to Facebook like Zoom did the other month, and they got fined $85 million for it. And, you know, there's no data going to China either. So this is the same hardcore privacy and security that you get. So if you're a high-level executives and you have some very confidential conferences going on with your peers or partners, you want that to remain private. That's coming towards the end of Q2. And at the beginning of Q2 or end of Q1, we're not sure yet, we're launching Secure Voice. So you'll be able to call someone. Now, the difference between WhatsApp and the other apps and us is that we're not using a voice over IP system. We're using a specific tunneling encryption that nobody can, I mean, you never say no one because that'll jinx you, but it's pretty much uncrackable, right? So that's why you pay $20. It'll come with that, the email, the messenger. That's kind of the plus version of secure, and it's going to be called Secure Voice. We already have a line of people wanting to do that. I should mention, we just sold a government license in Latin America for Secure Messenger, one of many, well, more than one license, but one contract. And a lot of these organizations are waiting for the voice feature. So the voice, I'm expecting a lot of government and executives would love to have that, because conversations are private when it comes to businesses. You know, you can have an oil and gas company talking about their next production, for example, right?
Yeah, or a pending merger or something like that.
Merger, those are the kind of data that the hackers are looking for to steal and then to manipulate in the public market with stock prices. This is what we call deal data. In fact, it's a real thing that is for real, where most of the data centers in Canada have been hacked so many times, especially when oil went up, where overseas companies and governments were trying to figure out who's going to merge with who. Now with commodity prices going up and everything, and there's going to be a lot more M&A in a lot of these kind of industries. You know, people are looking to manipulate stock prices, and where do they go? They need to go to the communication of these companies, these people talking to each other, to, you know, so that's critical. And why wouldn't you pay $50 a month for that, or $20 a month per user? It's really like, it's like pennies compared to what you can save.
Absolutely. Right? You don't think about it because you hear so much. They take an email and they get into your bank account, but to be able to hack executives' voice and text messages, I mean, that could be very lucrative.
That's super lucrative. Yeah, because if I knew, for example, what Exxon CEO or executives are going to do, where they're going to drill, which companies are going to buy, especially with oil prices not going up. If I want to know an executive member of OPEC, even a mid-level executive, what they're talking about, and they're all on WhatsApp, by the way, all these people that we think are secure are not. Governments, I mean, imagine a Defense Department purchasing, I don't know, 5 tons of something for delivery. And the email outsiders, right? So when they email their suppliers, that email is basically a sniff packet. And when they do conversation or chat, how do you think they do it, right? So I think we have an astronomical market for us ahead of ourselves next year and the year beyond. We have our emerging markets coming up. They're starting to be back after COVID. We're going to do a lot of sales in the emerging markets, and we're very optimistic about the business aspect. Until now, we've been doing to consumers, and we've had a great feedback, great response, but the huge money is going to be made in the business sector.
Yeah. Okay. Now let's end on a positive note, because your stock has been doing well lately. So what do you think is behind that?
Yeah, talking about making money, we're happy, obviously. I think a lot of people are slowly discovering, you said it earlier, and when we started, that people are tired of being hacked, etc. So they're looking for companies in that sector. And, you know, I cannot make a comment, we're undervalued, overvalued, because I can't do that on the public TV. But basically, obviously, people are seeing that we have a lot of value. We have over maybe close to $7.5 million US in the bank, over 9 million Canadian, no debt, no convertible. So there's nothing coming out of the woodwork. You know, so it's clean balance sheet, solid balance sheet. We're getting sales on a daily basis. And I think people are anticipating what is going to happen next year, Q1, Q2, Q3. And we are delivering, right? We're delivering on our apps, on our service, on our contracts. Our quarterly came out. It was, of course, our sales went up 1,000% in Q3 from Q2 because that's when we started sales. Q4 looks really good as well. We are basically doing everything we can, and so far we're on a very good track to deliver double-digit growth quarter over quarter for the next few years to come. And we're in a market cap of maybe 40-50 million US dollar. That's really nothing. These companies have multi-billion-dollar market cap. Mm-hmm. So there's still an upside, and we have the financial backing to do so. Mm-hmm. We made no secret that we also want to uplist eventually to NASDAQ. I think people can see a year or two ahead of themselves and see where this company could be with that kind of funding from real financial institutions in the US. We have a bright future. So yeah, people are now discovering that, hey, if I may actually, if somebody wants to go to globexdata.com, mm-hmm. I would recommend them to watch the video series, Globex Data video series. We have one of our large shareholders who created a whole scuttlebug research, dissected the company in 1,000 pieces, and then he has an interview with me. He's a big believer. This will explain what we do, the product, the cost of acquisition analysis. The interview with me is pretty good, and then his conclusion. I recommend everyone to go to globexdata.com, go watch the Globex video series, spend a couple hours of your time if you're interested in investing in Globex, because this person covers the gamut of everything.
Okay, interesting. And this is an area that I only see growing. And in fact, I tell my kids, study cybersecurity, because I just feel like it's going to be with us for a long time, these issues.
And there's going to be a lot of jobs. I mean, you can tell your kids there's a need for hundreds of thousands, I heard millions of cybersecurity people. So there's not enough people in the field. So if you're young and you're trying to figure out what you want to do, cybersecurity is a great field. It's not going down. This is an exploding industry that's going to grow bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's interesting because there's always something new. There's a new technology. There's a new angle. It's like forensic and IT meet up. It's kind of interesting.
And plus you're doing good work, which is always kind of a nice thing. You're helping people, which is a nice thing in addition to having a secure and well-paying job, that you're helping people too. So that's great.
You're helping people. That's true. No, I mean, every hack saved is like for $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 saved for each individual, and probably a year or two of headache and heartache. And for businesses, an average mid-level business, when there's a hack, it costs them on average in money loss and production loss about $3.5 million. This is a study from IBM. So you're really helping people. You're helping the economy. Yep. You get yourself a nice job in an industry that's not going out of style. It's a good sector to be in.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Alon. Always interesting to talk to you, and I look forward to our discussion next week.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here. Thanks, Jane.